CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday. One person was killed after an early morning crash in Sudbury. OPP say the single vehicle collision happened around 2:50 this morning along Highway 69 at the Highway 17 juncture. The 42-year-old female driver suffered serious life-threatening injuries and later died in hospital. Police closed the southbound lanes between the west and eastbound off-ramps for the investigation, but the road reopened just before 10 a.m. Police aren't saying much about a death investigation in Sault Ste. Marie. Police have only said detectives are looking into a death in the 1200 block of Trunk Road. There has been police activity in the area all day long. All right, let's move now to the weather. We're coming off a gorgeous weekend, and today hasn't been too bad either. The big question is, how long will this last? To tell us more, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
Tony, enjoy the sunshine while you can, because it all changes after today. A big change, as you were about to see in the 5-day forecast. We've got some rain about to move into Northeastern Ontario right now. Our systems map, courtesy of CAA. Get your membership today at caa.ca. We've got some sleet, we've got some precipitation, we've got some sun and cloud, we've got some cloud. Lots of rain tomorrow across Northeastern Ontario. So everything that you enjoyed Saturday, Sunday, Tony, forget about it. It's not happening this week. We had a great weekend, our best weekend since last fall. Details on the 5-day coming up.
Thanks for that, Rick. Conservation Sudbury says while water levels have receded in some areas, they are rising in others. And as CTV's Alana Everson tells us, the Onaping River in the area of Dowling is a concern, along with the lower Vermilion River.
The city confirms it has sandbagged 2 wells on Riverside Drive in Dowling as a precaution to protect the physical assets. Also to support continued delivery of water to the community. Conservation Sudbury says it's keeping a close eye on Dowling.
We are watching Dowling for sure. Lots of the town of Dowling is actually in the floodplain, and so we're keeping an eye on the Onaping River and how it reacts to the rain that's forecast.
Conservation Sudbury says the Junction Creek and Whitson River systems have declined.
They may rise a little bit with this coming rain. Onaping remains high, and we're watching it very closely, and the lower parts of the Vermilion River remain high and are flooding into certain areas, and we're watching that very closely as well with this coming rain.
Meanwhile, in Chelmsford, flooding has receded on Boulanger Street. This homeowner says the aftermath is just as bad as the flood.
In my basement, I was up to 4 feet of water in my basement. So everything went. I lost everything that was in there. I have well over $150,000 of damage.
Shelley Few says she took immediate action, sparked by health concerns.
Right now, we're having to do everything on our own because we're not getting any answers from our insurance company. And right now, it's a health hazard to live with the mold and the stench and the rotten food in the basement.
Conservation Sudbury says it will update the flood situation midweek, with rain in the forecast and as the northern snowpack continues to melt. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Ontario is fast-tracking the Red Lake transmission line in Northwestern Ontario and launching a new hydroelectricity program. Officials say the program will help power mining, create jobs, and drive economic growth in the north.
And I'm very proud to be here as we build an economy that I think we could leave a legacy for our children and grandchildren. At the core of our energy expansion and our economic expansion is we need clean, reliable power.
Minister Stephen Lecce says the transmission line will power new mines and strengthen the economy. He adds this step will employ more than 5,800 people and unlock $830 million in economic potential. A public hearing was held today on the Ford government's bill, which could result in sweeping changes to Ontario's education system. Bill 101 would limit school board sizes, cap the amount paid to trustees, and establish a CEO role at a school board. The legislation has been criticized by the opposition that says it does little to help students. The Ontario NDP education critic spoke along grassroots parents groups ahead of today's hearing.
The government has limited committee hearings to a single day, which means that the vast majority of public voices and perspectives on this bill will not be heard by the committee. Students, parents, teachers and education workers, principals, trustees, disability and equity advocates, and community members have all expressed concerns about Bill 101 and its centralization of power in the hands of a minister who is also giving himself sweeping immunity, about new layers of bureaucracy, and about the bill's attack on transparency, accountability, and community voices.
Ontario Education Minister Paul Calandra has said the intention of the bill is to dramatically reduce the role of trustees and refocus their jobs around representing parents and students. Sault Ste. Marie's strategy for dealing with American tariffs just got a cash infusion from the province. City officials are meeting with possible investors, with the money announced today aimed at bringing more businesses to the border city. CTV's Corey Nordstrom reports.
While visiting the Sault, Ontario's Minister of Economic Development provided 500,000 ways to combat tariffs in the city. The $500,000 investment from the province's Trade Impacted Communities program will support the municipality's foreign direct investment strategy.
It's so easy. You cross the river, fill your order book and come home. It's just too easy. But it's been too easy for too long, and now we're paying part of the price for it.
Now that market is much more volatile and much less certain, you need to look for other markets to be able to diversify your trade, help local businesses find new customers in regions that are not to our immediate south.
Shoemaker says the foreign direct investment strategy will allow for better communication with companies from across the globe on the benefits of doing business in the Sault, including site visits related to industries such as steel or forestry. And with Fideli in town, the Sault mayor adds that he couldn't pass up the opportunity to speak on another job creator, the Port of Algoma.
We see it as the foundational piece to helping companies have the infrastructure here that they need in order to be able to grow. It's what's been missing, I would say, for a long time. We have highway access, we have rail access, and there is private port access, but not public port that is equally accessible to all.
Today's funds are part of nearly $30 billion the province has outlined for tariff relief. Fideli points out that what's most important is settling the trade dispute with the United States, noting the Ford government's support for the work done by the Prime Minister.
We have input wherever we can. We talk about the auto sector, we talk about steel, we talk about aluminum, we talk about lumber, we talk about copper, all the areas that are heavily tariffed. We feed into the federal government our statistics of the pain that it's causing.
Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
It's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. Right now, we're going to the mouth of the Michipicoten River that flows into Lake Superior. This live webcam is courtesy of the municipality of Wawa. It's 20 degrees. We're back in a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
I can safely say this past weekend, at least Saturday, Sunday, for the most part in Northeastern Ontario, one of our best weekends since last fall. Everyone enjoyed it. We cleaned up, we did what we had to do, and looked ahead to what we're going to have to do all summer long after a long, cold winter. We've got some rain in the forecast. Forecast radar courtesy of Environment Canada. Get a load of this. We'll take a look at some of the amounts momentarily. But again, we've got rain, and then we have some sleet and some cooler temperatures over the course of the next 5 to 7 days. Let's have a peek. Sudbury Nickel Belt, 10 to 15 millimeters of shower activity. 5 millimeters this evening, 11 tomorrow, by the way. Wednesday, some cloud cover at 7. 6, getting cooler. Chance of sleet, 5 on Friday, sun and cloud, and only 3 Saturday. 30% chance of sleet. In the Sault, showers for this evening in the Sault and tomorrow. 5 to 10 tomorrow, 8 degrees your high. 6 Wednesday, sun and cloud, chance of sleet on Thursday at 5. Only 6 Friday, sun and cloud, and 5 Saturday, sun and cloud. At least it'll be a half-decent start to the weekend in Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, 10 to 15 millimeters of shower activity tomorrow at 12. Wednesday, chance of sleet at 5. Only 2 Thursday, chance of sleet. 1 Friday, cloud cover and 40% chance of sleet. Saturday could be a messy Saturday with a high of only 4 degrees. So again, not a great week in terms of precipitation numbers, the exception being maybe Sault Ste. Marie. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, 10 to 15 millimeters for tomorrow, 13 degrees your high, 6 on Wednesday, cloud cover. Thursday, cloud cover at 5, 4 degrees cloud cover Friday, and the chance of sleet again at 30%, only 3 degrees. As for a promising weekend coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I don't know if I could go that far right now. Tuesday, here we go. In North Bay, West Nipissing, shower activity 10 to 20 millimeters, 11 degrees your high. Then it starts to get cooler. Wednesday, only 8, 7. Thursday, sun and cloud. Friday, sun and cloud, 5. And again, here we go. 3 degrees Saturday, chance of sleet at 30%. So I certainly hope you enjoyed your weekend, Tony. I know a lot of people did. But as for this week, not so promising. That's all I've got right now. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. Effective Friday, the Social Services Board in the District of Nipissing will deliver homeless outreach services. This comes as True Self winds down to focus more on First Nations members who live on and off reserve. We get the details from CTV's Eric Tashner.
After True Self Homeless Outreach Service announced it was pulling out of the city, the Social Services Board began looking for its successor. Now it's decided to take control itself.
It literally forced our hand. It's probably one of the most important services that we actually provide in the downtown core.
The board decided a direct delivery is the most practical approach to make sure outreach support continues. Due to budgeting constraints, DSAB says services may not look exactly the same as before, and hours will be limited from 8 to 4:30.
It has a lot to do with basically labor agreements that force overtime after those hours.
Outreach services will be delivered to the homeless through a revised model designed to improve coordination, strengthen health integration, and continue collaboration with community partners. Community paramedicine outreach will play a key role, working alongside staff and community partners, supporting early intervention and help individuals connect more easily with follow-up services. One of the 10 outreach clinics will be at Suswin Village every other week.
A lot of my residents don't have family doctors, so that helps them if they're sick.
The core focus is to build trust, assess needs, and connect individuals to essential resources like food, shelter, healthcare, and social supports.
Residents that we have in the house are like from North Bay, and they have to be in the community for at least 3 months. Usually coming off the streets or coming from out of the jail system or the recovery home, detox.
DSAB says the outreach service mandate is to engage and support homeless people by meeting them where they are, both physically and in terms of their readiness for assistance. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
The Ontario Land Tribunal has announced dates when a $12.2 million claim will be heard connected to the construction of the Maley Drive extension in Sudbury. The extension opened in November 2019 with the $80 million price tag shared equally between the city, the province, and the federal government. However, Dalron Construction claims the city not only built part of the extension on land the company owned, but it has also used 445,000 cubic meters of blast rock from the property without permission. None of the claims have been tested in court. The Ontario Land Tribunal will hear the case over 5 weeks starting April 6, 2027. So are you craving a tasty treat right now? Coming up on CTV News at 5. The Tim Hortons Smile Cookie campaign is back, and every cookie is making a difference. It's a must-win tonight in Sudbury for the city's pro basketball team. Game 4 of the Basketball Super League final will see the Sudbury 5 at home to the KW Titans. Kitchener-Waterloo leads the best-of-5 series 2-1. Game time is just after 7 o'clock at the Sudbury Community Arena. Manitoulin Island's own Crystal Shawanda returns to Northern Ontario this week. The Juno-nominated singer-songwriter is bringing her new sound to Sudbury. CTV's Amanda Hicks tells us more.
For Crystal Shawanda, the last 3 years have been good, bad, and everything in between. Growing up in Wikwemkong unceded territory and now living in Nashville, she says a lot of life inspired her Juno-nominated album, Sing Pretty Blues.
We were, just starting the process of recording this album when my longtime manager and agent, Rob Patty, passed away, and someone who I worked with for 14 years, which is like a lifetime in the music business. So it was a lot to take on, a lot to process. And then, also having loved ones who are fighting addiction and, loving someone who's going through that. When I'm clean, I still feel dirty.
That pain is evident in the song Dirty. Written about the cycle of healing and addiction, the track took on a new meaning when Shawanda's nephew passed away just a month after its release.
I went to a place where he played as a little boy, and I sang the song over and over again and made peace with everything, and I let him go, and I put that emotion into the video. It was a very simple video, but very sincere, genuine, and honest. Not a bunch of bells and whistles. It was just about me dealing with my grief and me coming back to who he really was, because our loved ones are more than their struggles.
Shawanda will be bringing that raw honesty to Sudbury with her husband, Dwayne, and their 9-year-old daughter, Jaja, by her side. Jaja even lent her vocals to the title track and will be releasing her own music later this year.
We're watching her bloom and evolve as an artist herself and as a performer, and it's quite exciting to watch, to have those front row seats as a parent.
Shawanda says she is already working on new music. She and her family will be performing here at the Knox Hall this Friday, with a portion of the proceeds going to the Sudbury Food Bank. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Do you have a craving for a tasty treat? Tim Hortons across the country are now serving up Smile Cookies. Details from CTV's Lindsay Alick in
From Howler and Growler to Pure Country's Josh and Coop, community partners in Sudbury came together to launch the Spring Smile Cookie campaign.
The community comes out strong. We are really, really lucky, and we have such great community supporters. We have the police services, we have HSN, we have the food bank, telethon, the Lions Club. It's awesome, and they all come out and support us.
Proceeds from the cookies sold at Sudbury locations this week will go to support the CTV Lions Children's Christmas Telethon, HSN Foundation, and the Sudbury Food Bank.
What this means for people living in Northeastern Ontario is better access to equipment, better access to research, and so every time somebody buys a cookie, they're supporting healthcare in their communities.
If it wasn't for the Smile Cookie, we cannot do the telethon without their help and assistance. Many children, many faces will be smiling Christmas morning when they get the toys because of the help of the Tim Hortons restaurants in the Sudbury area.
Curry says the money raised through the Smile Cookie campaign accounts for 30 to 35% of the total raised telethon night.
Last year, over 10,000 family. This year, I'm not going to say anything, but we're ready for it. Anyway, we're ready for it to do the same as last year. All the Lions clubs in the Sudbury area, they're more than happy to do it.
This year marks 30 years for Smile Cookies, which are sold for $2 each, with 100% of the proceeds donated to local charities and community organizations. They're only available for purchase until Sunday. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
So what are they up to? When we return, we check in with our cousins over at Pure Country. You're watching First at 5.
Hey, it's Josh and Coop from Pure Country Mornings in Sudbury. Weather's getting warmer. Oh, it's been wonderful, right? That being said, country concerts starting to be announced right here in our region that you need to be in the know of.
Yeah, one announced just last week. Dallas Smith coming to the Grace Hartman Amphitheater in Sudbury with Haley Benedict and Rob Fitzgerald. This is July 16th. You want to have marked on your calendar. Tickets are on sale. No better way to spend the middle of July than under the stars at the amphitheater for a Dallas Smith show.
Yeah, a few others that are happening in our region. We'll get to those in a second. Boots and Hearts, though, that's a big one. It goes August 7th through to the 9th. Massive names. We're talking Jonas Brothers, Russell Dickerson, Brett Kissel, The Chicks, Rascal Flatts, Max McNown, and many, many more. That's in August.
Hey, and how about the Providence Bay Agricultural Fair? That's going down August 21st until the 23rd, and you can actually catch the Roadhammers performing August 22nd. It's going to be another awesome show.
Actually, that venue in Providence Bay is amazing. You really should check it out. And finally, we announced this one not too long ago. Dean Brody, Crystal Shawanda at Massey Fair. That's August 29th. Tickets are available for that one already, masseyfair.ca. The last couple of years have just been incredible. We know with Dean Brody, it's going to be an even better show this year. You got to be there.
Hey, keep up to date on these announcements and all of your other country music news. Pure Country 91.7 on the dial, or look up Sudbury's Pure Country on the completely free iHeartRadio app.
Our first community close-up comes to us north of Sault Ste. Marie. This video is from Graham Grattan and shows the force of nature. It's of Chippewa Falls, right along Highway 17 north, just before Batchewana Bay. He says a lot of water is heading toward Lake Superior. Thanks so much for this, Graham. Let's go east of Blind River now to the community of Spanish, right along Highway 17. Karen Stanlake snapped this photograph of a northern flicker. This bird is a member of the woodpecker family. Thanks so much, Karen. To Swastika near Kirkland Lake, and Raymond Bourgeois snapped these pictures of red-winged blackbirds. Raymond says it's a sure sign of spring. Thanks so much for this. And if you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. And finally, the owner of a farm in Vermont was expecting one of her sheep to have twins, and she was shocked when this happened. She ended up having sextuplets, 6 lambs. She previously had quadruplets, and a recent checkup indicated she would have 2 lambs this time. The farm raises these animals for wool and will keep the 4 females and find homes for the 2 males. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.